Someone said something to me just then, and it got me thinking of another analogy of how to use it. So, she is an overthinker. She talks about doing things. She plans doing things. She consumes content to help her do things. She reads all the books. She sometimes listens to podcasts. We get to a point where we're always consuming, always overthinking, always overanalyzing, always wondering what if, or I need to do this, or I should do this. I know I need to do this. But we spend less time actually doing the action. It's like we know we need to do it, but we spend more time thinking about it, planning about it, overthinking what could go wrong, all this stuff, where we're still going to need to do the thing to actually get to where we want to be or to get a certain outcome out of it. But the immediate discomfort, or sometimes it might be like a punishing thing. Like, for example, we could just say no to training or something, or we could just say, no, I don't want to do that thing, it's too hard. Or it could be something as simple as, oh, that seems illogical. Like, if I actually want to lose weight, for example, it doesn't make sense that I need to actually eat more. But it makes all the sense in the moment, because we've been conditioned to think that the less we eat, the faster the results we get. Or the more that we train, the faster we're going to progress. It makes all the logical sense in our head, but it doesn't really pan out that way to start with. But it's almost like when my friend said to me, oh, it's almost like my friend always says that she needs to walk the dog, but she spends so much time thinking about needing to walk the dog that by the time she actually goes to walk the dog and comes back, she could have already walked the dog already. And it's like, well, that's the same with your journey. If you're stuck where you are and what you're doing isn't actually getting you to where you want to be, all that time that you wasted, all those programs that you bought, all the times you gave up on yourself, all the times that you said, oh no, it can't be this, it doesn't make sense, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing anyway, even though it clearly isn't working, like, that time's going to pass anyway. And then as soon as someone says you need to think about the long term, you need to think about a year from now or 3 years from now, which is what I always like to say, because 3 years is like the sweet point. Like, it's not 5 years and it's not 1 year, it's the 3-year mark, which is ideally how long it takes to really create the identity of that badass person that you want to be. As soon as you hold on to, like, as soon as you let go of who you were to become who you want to be, it makes so much more sense. It's like, that time's going to pass anyway. What were you doing 3 years ago? Probably the same stupid shit you're doing now. So what's 3 years? Really, what's 3 years? I don't even know where the last 3 years went. Like, I would put up my photos here and there, and I always get girls commenting on them, saying, how'd you get your legs like that? I want legs like yours. What are you doing for your legs? It's like, actually not all that much. I'm doing basic ass shit, and it's the same basic ass shit I did 7 years ago when I started. 7 years when I started to get to where I want to be now. Like, people think it's something that you just pluck off a tree, but it's not that. It doesn't work that way. And it, like, just because someone doesn't have the same exact journey as you doesn't make it any more different. It's still the same principle. Shit takes time. You're not going to plant a seed and then go and dig it up every single day to see how much it's grown. That's a saying pretty much everyone knows. It's like, why would you want to keep digging up a seed that you only just planted? You need to actually let it grow. And in the meantime, my analogy is, the seed's there. What is within your control to make sure that seed's the best damn seed that you could get out of it? You're going to make sure that the soil is well looked after. So you have daily tasks to do. Instead of focusing on the end result of, oh, my physical progress this, or how much is this, or how much did it progress today, how much this, how much that, like all this stupid bullshit focusing. I always say stop focusing on the bullshit. Honestly, you're focusing on bullshit. Don't miss the forest for the trees. Zoom out, focus on what you can do every single day. You can water the seed. You can fertilize the seed. You can fertilize the soil. You can pluck out the weeds. Sometimes it's not so much about what can you do more for that seed, but what can you take away? What can you do less of? What can there be less of? There can be less of weeds. Instead of adding to the seed all the time and overwhelming the seed, because you can only feed it so much. You can only water it so much, otherwise it's going to flood. There's only so much you can force feed this seed to grow. The same with your body. You can't force your body to go any faster than its own limit. I only just thought of that analogy today, so I'm glad I'm doing this live. You can't force that seed to grow any faster than it's already destined to grow, but you can facilitate it. There's going to be shitty weather sometimes. Sometimes the progress, like the ability for you to put in the same effort is going to be reduced. And that's the same thing with a post that I wrote not that long ago. Your best looks different every single day. Always give 100%, but that 100% is always going to look different. That's where the beauty lies. In acknowledging that and being okay with it, because you're human. And I wrote it word for word on my last post. You are not a failure if you didn't make progress today. Sometimes staying still is progress. And the thing that pisses me off the most is that people do not see maintenance as progress. Every day you maintain is a day of progress. Because in a world where everyone always rebounds the weight, loses their mind and goes back to where they were or worse, maintaining is probably the best form of progress you'll ever have. Everyone's striving to achieve something. If I'm not gaining muscle, or if I'm not losing fat, or if I'm not chasing a number, I'm no one. I don't have an identity. I don't have anything. Why are we always chasing? Since when did our life become about chasing shit instead of enjoying what we already have? Being the best that we can be in the moment. And we always want to be the best version of ourselves, and that's exactly what it should be. It should be enjoying that process, not making it something that we hate, or something that's a chore, or something that's going to be so energy consuming. Because if you put into a pie chart how much of a day you stress over you stress over food, or you think about food, you stress over exercise, or you think about exercise, what you have done, what you need to do, what you should do, who you need to be for this person or that person. How about just being something for yourself and becoming that best version of you and letting the results speak for themselves? That's how you maintain your progress. Anyway, I thought that was a really good analogy, because it's like the time would have passed anyway for her to just walk the dog and come back already, but she's too busy contemplating the fact that she wanted to, her friend wanted to go walk the dog. It's like, well, that's the same with our journey. You could be in the same place you are right now in 3 years' time. Or you could actually get yourself to take your finger out and do the shit that you know you need to do, but you won't do because you're scared of failure. Being scared of failure is holding you back from living your fullest life. And I know that because that's where I came from. I was scared of giving up. I was always someone that never followed through on my word. And that's the identity I developed for myself. I always quit. I never stick to this. I don't want to fail. I have no faith in myself. I had no confidence to show up. But as soon as I kept doing the reps, showing up for myself, just doing it anyway, the beauty lies in just going even when you don't feel like it. The beauty lies in doing it in the moments that you feel like doing it the least. And that was my breakthrough point. I just kept showing up. And it's not just showing up and be like, I went. It's, you need to actually celebrate the fact that you showed up when you didn't want to. Because it's not always going to be easy to show up. It is so much easier to stay in bed, rug yourself up, or to just go about your day the way that you normally do. not doing what you know you need to do, or you know that you want to do to get to your desired result, because the immediate isn't rewarding. It feels like punishment. It feels like a burden. It feels like a chore. But you know that it's rewarding on the other end. And soon the process will become what's rewarding. And that's why you need to make the process the goal. Because once you can start to enjoy the process, it just becomes who you are. Hope that helped, and happy Monday.